No one expected Prince William's quiet diplomatic trip to Saudi Arabia to turn into a global talking point. But the moment he stepped onto that football field in Riyadh, all eyes locked onto him for a very different reason. Because while the Prince of Wales was trying to spotlight progress, empowerment, and youth opportunity, a reporter's voice cut straight through the air with a question the royal family has been trying hard to avoid. And what happened next left everyone wondering what William truly heard, and what he chose not to say. But before we get to that moment, there's something surprising about this visit that most people don't realize. Prince William didn't just wake up one morning and decide to jet off to Saudi Arabia. According to royal sources, the UK government specifically asked him to take this 3-day trip, a move packed with diplomatic weight. And the first stop after landing? A warm, carefully managed meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Kensington Palace said their conversation was far-ranging, but insiders hinted it touched on everything from energy strategy to the future of UK-Saudi ties. William even handed over an England football shirt worn by Harry Kane, a classic soft power gesture meant to smooth tensions. But the real story began the next day, when William stepped into the middle of one of Saudi Arabia's most symbolic transformations, women's sports. Just a few years ago, young girls here couldn't even take PE classes. Stadiums were off-limits. Female athletes existed in the shadows. That's why William's visit to Misk Sports City hit differently. He wasn't just meeting footballers, he was meeting young women who are the first generation allowed to dream publicly. The players showed him their drills, shared their stories, and didn't hold back about what this moment means for them. One mother even told him she'd lived through the old days, where we were not allowed to do anything, but now her daughter was stepping into a better, freer chapter. Everything seemed hopeful, almost emotional, until a comment from the sidelines cut through the atmosphere. A reporter suddenly raised his voice, asking, "Sir, to what extent do you think the royal family have done enough around the Andrew issue?" Twice. Whether William heard it or genuinely missed it is still unclear. He didn't turn. He didn't react. He simply kept moving with the young athletes, but the question exploded across social media within minutes. And that's because the royal family has been sitting in the center of a storm ever since fresh allegations connected to the late offender resurfaced. Reports claim new documents reignited old questions, putting intense pressure on Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who has always strongly denied wrongdoing. William and Catherine had just issued a rare statement saying they were deeply concerned and focused on the victims. So hearing that shouted question echo across a Saudi football pitch created a surreal moment. The timing couldn't have been more fragile. But the day wasn't over, not even close. William then made his way to an esports tournament, shaking hands, meeting players, stepping into the middle of Saudi Arabia's push toward gaming, youth culture, and modern entertainment. He also toured the massive 84-mile Sports Boulevard project, a nomination for his Earthshot Prize. It's a city-length stretch of green space and athletic facilities that locals say is reshaping daily life. One resident told him this new era was women's empowerment in real time. And William listened carefully, trying to keep the focus on progress. But behind the smiles, there's no escaping the deeper complications. Before this trip, William was reportedly briefed on Saudi Arabia's extremely controversial reputation, from restricted freedoms to the U.S. intelligence report claiming the Crown Prince approved the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, something Saudi Arabia strongly rejects and MBS denies. Critics say the regime remains authoritarian. Supporters argue the country is opening up. William stepped into the center of that tension, promoting cooperation while navigating a minefield of human rights concerns. And yet, a royal insider claimed he didn't flinch when asked to undertake the trip, because when the government calls, he goes. By the end of the visit, something strange became clear. The trip was meant to highlight progress, youth innovation, and the future of women's sports. But instead, it became a collision of diplomacy, controversy, and one unanswered question echoing across a football field. And now the world is left wondering, what happens next for the royal family? And how long can Prince William avoid being pulled directly into the Andrew conversation? Because silence may protect the monarchy in the moment, But in the long run, it always demands an answer.